Teaching Italian culture through Dante Inferno. Dante's Inferno represents a vivid portrait of Italian culture, and this is valid for the past, the present, and perhaps for the future. During my talk, I would like to show a study case, My Italian Culture 24, Italian Culture. This class was taught both in Italian and English, and my students had great insights. And together we went through a virtual and physical journey that enriched all of us on multiple levels. I'd like to start my presentation by quoting one of my students. Veronica Guaiardo wrote in one of her assignments this. I asked my students why they were pursuing an education. To get a good job, they answered. When I asked why they wanted a job, they explained they wanted to make money. And when I asked why they wanted to make money, they explained that the money was necessary to stay alive. These students, many of them bright and ambitious, had spent years in a classroom taking notes and turning in assignments simply to stay alive. Now, I don't share this story to condemn either my students or community college, but to show the paltriness, the utterly unheroic goals of modern education. My students were not incapable of an education directed at more than a mere survival. They had simply not been presented with a vision of heroism of the students, a vision that Dante gives us in his Commedia. And my students so on focus here in the Dante thirst for knowledge and the importance actually to elevate himself to a new dimension of physical and inner dimension. Certainly, these words from these students that is an education is educator like Mina, like us, impressed me and made me think about. And then, so as a matter of fact, how many of us educators are put in front of this sort of patroness, meschinità? Is this the direction of modern education? Students are in class not to learn, but to pass classes, and to pass the classes, in order to pass the classes, they're ready to cheat. But if they're asked to stop and read, they can discover what they are inside themselves. So last time I taught this class, I saw that my students start an amazing journey, which affected them. Let me show how this class is organized in some of my students' final work. So here we are. This is my class in Canvas. Canvas is a platform that we use at El Camino College, the college where I actually teach this class. And the class is taught online, asynchronous. So this means that students are not asked to participate to Zoom meeting or online meeting. We have some meetings sometime. Mostly the presentation are uploaded here in this platform, and I'm going to show you later. It works a lot because we can have students that take the class when they want and apply the time they want when they have the time, so they don't give a pressure to the students to be in class a certain time and plus to be present when it's necessary to be present. So this offers an opportunity to really enjoy the material because they can actually work with the material the time they want, but during the semester frame. So my class started with a presentation page with these pictures about Dante Inferno that kind of collect Inferno. And then here's some information. Let's check the syllabus of the class. So this way you can see the content of the class. I can provide to you the syllabus. I can provide to you more information if you want. Here is the description of the class that I rearranged to Dante Inferno. It's kind of free for that. Okay, so the assessment activities and grade is about participation. So students need to watch video, and then based on the videos, the video are my lesson pre-recorded. Then quizzes and discussion, then some assignments, presentation, final paper. The paper is very simple and mostly based on their observation. So going by, see, these are the content of the class. So we have module 1, module 2, module 3, module 4, module 5. And there are selection of Dante canti. So in module 1 we see we have introduction of Dante Alighieri, and his life is really is contextualized in the Italy of that time, that it was not already shaped, and this gives an opportunity to give an historical overview about Italy. But this also to analyze Dante world, that is his time with political problems in Florence, but in Italy with the influence of the papal state, the empire, different situation, but mostly about the two parties that were in Florence, the Guelph and the Ghibellines, and problem that caused to him to be in exile for the rest of the life. So we are going to read Canto 1 and Canto 2, and we focus this about different example about also his journey, that is an emotional journey, that starts from an emotional point of view, the fears. So through Inferno, Dante overcome his fear or fears, but also went through different emotions that kind of stop him in his life. Say that I can tell that many of my students actually start being very close to Dante. Module 2, the focus is Canto 3 and Canto 5. So here the focus, Canto 5 in particular, Paolo and Francesca, we have many representation in arts about that, but focus is the artistic production inspired by Dante. And so we have figurative arts and cinema, so we are analyzing different production Module 3, it is Canto 3, Module 3 is Canto 6, 10, and 19. And so here is analyzing about political identity, political and religion corruption. And this give us an opportunity really to go across cultures and see also discuss about things that happen in the United States. Module 4, there is intermezzo, so we have kind of a moment where students need to think about what they want to focus for their own personal research. But it will be like a little bit summary of the cantos and anything before Canto 26, the Hippocrates. And here we also focus on music, different aspect of Italian music, and again the musicality that there is in the Divine Comedy himself. And Module 5, Canto 26, is Ulysses, so human knowledge in Italian genius, science, technology, innovation in different type of science and scientific discoveries that Italians did and they're still doing, and so they're making a difference in the world, and how much Italian culture is actually important for Western society. And then also we analyze Canto 23, 32 and 33, where we focus on some issues about Italian families, and here the story of Conte Ugolino. And then Canto 34 is a general discussion and feedback and overcome the hell. As you see, so we don't really read all the Divine Comedy, Inferno, but we actually focus in some canti, but this gives an opportunity anyway for the students to be in touch with this work and eventually to go deeper. So let's see the modules, and so I can show you how things are organized. So the students they are going through and they are reading the different module. I just give you an example of an activity. So here there is a video to watch, and I need to answer some questions, and here there is a rubric, and here there is an activity the students needs to do. Okay, so you see Dante a contextualization and observation, so read the following information, blah blah blah, and then say answer these questions. You can answer in Italian if you like. What do you think about Dante exiles? Do you think there is a religious influence in political life in Italy? How can you relate the Guelph and the Ghibellines to nowadays society? Going back to the module, I want to just to show you how we use a different type of material. One of the material that we use for the Italian, because as I said before, we have two paths. Students can do this class in Italian, and students can do this class in English. So for the English part, we have mostly lectures given by also the professor in other university, and some videos that they are mostly YouTube videos where there are these lectures of conferences on Dante and also insights from other scholars or people in life. For the Italian part, mostly use the book of Marino e Palumbo, La Divina Commedia per Stranieri, Inferno, and that book really helped a lot to students to work with the text himself and give insights to work on Dante. Let me see if I. So let's start with Inferno 2 in the discussion, module 1. So in this way you can see what the students wrote. And so as you see, we use Padlet, and on Padlet here we have the students who interact each others on these topics. So I post here some pictures about some figures that were in the first two chants, and ask who they are and what they represent for them. Okay, so this is an example, and anyway, everything is start from the text, different the text, and then is actually read by the students, read by me. Let's see at the end the final results. So at the end of the class, here we are, your presentation here. So you see different presentation of my students, where you find different topics about Dante. So this presentation, for example, was related about food in Dante. Then another presentation in Dante contextualization here, and the focus about fama, memoria, fame, memory, and the fact, to be remembered, and then for the posterity. And so memory, immortality. Okay, so in the contextualization of Dante. Okay, then we have more presentation in Dante words, and again Dante personality. Here is Dante influence in 700. I briefly show this presentation, so in this way.
Dante's Inferno, The Influence, 700 years later. Inferno was made in 2016, starring Tom Hanks and directed by Ron Howard. This film is about a race through Europe to stop the spread of a virus that would spread quickly and kill half of the world's population. The film is mostly based in Florence, Italy, where Dante Alighieri was born, but sadly exiled. Throughout the film, we see many mentions and symbolisms from Dante's Inferno, hence the movie title. Circles of Hell punishment. In the beginning of the film, the main character, Robert, sees visions imitating the punishments from Dante's version of hell.
So you can see, so they are using and working on a comparison on movies, and then they work, I mean, anyway, an American movie. Then more for example, here, political. So we have more presentation and quite interesting to see the about different aspects that are taken from the Divine Comedy, but related to nowadays society, in terms also, to comparison among political parties. For example, here in the United States, like Gulf, the Gibelins to Republicans, Democratic, and then other consideration about different things. So going back again to the class, I wanted to show you some final paper, just to show you the final paper. And so here we are. So you can see from the final papers the different topic that actually the students deal with. So I'll show you from here. Again, what is very interesting anyway is the way actually the student use this material to investigate what's going on in their life, in the context of their life, and to see how really what Dante wrote is still something that they can find, they can experience in their life. So they can learn about Italian culture, but in the other way, they also can learn about themselves. So let me show you here the final paper. Here we are. So you can see the topic of the paper. So the rubric, how it's organized. So I show student by student. So we have David briefed this like the journey through personal inferno. So what is interesting about him is actually analyze inferno and then see how inferno is important for himself and then how his own journey. So this paper was particularly interested because he deal with anger. So Argenti Vive, so he actually work on the Argenti figures and then and work with the song of a rapper Caperazza did. And so analyzing how anger actually interfere to you to the rationality and make you do things that overcome your rationality, but also, personally speaking, what does it mean in real life? So here is about the journey of Dante through life and health. So this was metaphorically speaking, what does it mean in terms for her? So it's a metaphor. So inferno is a metaphor for your personal life. Here again, we already see a little bit is anyway about the fame and to fact that, you know, to be eternal some way. Here's about political issues that are still in the nowadays society. Here is about food, Dante food, how, you know, get an inspiration for that. So Dante Inferno, what does it mean in nowadays society? So the negativity that there is in the society through Dante Inferno. Again, here more focus on movies, how, you know, the influence of Dante in modern world. Here, music and some effect with the Maneskin. And here is cultural influence in Dante work. And then, again, I don't have time to show you all my students, but it's quite interesting to see how, you know, really this class is kind of open-ended class. It can be actually use Dante work with expand and then actually analyze the meaning of Dante for yourself. Again, very, very important book was the book in Italian of Marino e Palumbo, because that allowed the students really to touch the text and see different insights that allow us also to talk about other aspects of Italian reality and to compare this especially to the American one. And say that I finish here and I'm waiting for your questions. Okay, thank you.